everyone! Kamusta po kayong lahat? Sana nasa mabuti po kayong kalagayan. Ako po ang inyong lingkod, ang babaeng pwede kahit saan, Kalad Karen Davila. This month, we celebrate Pride. Join us as we take a closer look at how members of the LGBTQIA+ community have been fighting for equality in the country. In this episode, we discuss the legal needs of the members of the LGBTQIA+ community, specifically civil unions. Talagang may kasalan, o diba? Welcome to San Miglite Speakeasy Podcast, ang Mahaba-habang Usapan on Civil Unions, brought to you by CNN Philippines in partnership with San Miglite. Eto na, papakilala ko ang mga kasama po natin ngayong araw na ito. Siyempre, kasama po natin, human rights lawyer, attorney Jesus Ricardo Falses.
Wow.
Hello, happy Pride!
Happy Pride!
Kasama rin po natin ang Queer Safe Spaces co-founder, Ms. Tina Buwado. Hello, happy Pride!
Happy Pride!
At kasama rin natin, mahusay na aktor, Mr. Paulo Pangilinan. Happy Pride!
Hi, happy Pride everyone!
June is Pride Month. So, batiin natin ang ating mga manonood. Happy Pride to all of you.
Oh, happy Pride! Happy Pride!
Sana makulay at masaya ang inyo pong pagdiriwang ng Pride Month. Pero ang tanong ko sa inyo, para sa inyo, what is Pride? Ano muna tayo, legal point of view?
So, ang Pride kasi is born out of a movement. So, nag-start siya sa Stonewall riots. It is out of our need to exist because our community and people like us were being repressed. So, we had to go out and say and reclaim that we are who we are and accept us for who we are. So, that's not just legal, no? So there were movements to make it legal, the recognition, the protection, the rights. But it is more of a social movement na
Correct.
at its core is about just human relations, just respecting and recognizing the need to be respected.
At syempre, hindi pa rin po tayo natatapos sa pakikipaglaban at pakikibaka para ma-achieve natin ang equality. Hanggang ngayon, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po ang ating movement. That's why, actually, hindi lang dapat every June sineselebrate ang Pride. For me, it has to be celebrated every single day of our lives. At katulad nga nung sinabi ko, nagkaroon tayo ng pandemic, di ba? Hanggang ngayon, meron pa rin namang pandemic. But Pride should always stay relevant. Kasi sometimes iniisip natin, hindi yan isa sa mga needs ng tao ngayon. Kasi
Priority.
may pandemya, etc. But, kailan ba hindi naging need ang karapatang pantao, lalong-lalo na ng mga members ng LGBTQIA+ community? Because we are prone to violence, to abuse, and araw-araw maraming miyembro ang nagsasuffer. Hanggang ngayon, lalong-lalo na dito sa ating bansang Pilipinas, di ba? So, patuloy lang tayo sa pakikipaglaban. Minsan kasi iniisip natin, pag Pride, of course, masaya. Meron tayong mga parade, meron tayong mga events, di ba? Super celebration, inuman, walwalan, ganyan.
Yes.
But we should always remember that Pride is a protest. Kailangan marinig ang boses natin. Hindi nga lang dapat every June, dapat every day, di ba? Do you agree, Tina?
Yes, I agree. Na yun nga, yung first ever Pride, it's an uprising, no? It was not just a parade or a celebration, but it was a march.
Correct.
A march for our rights, para sa equal protection for everyone regardless of their SOJI. And aside from that, ako personally, I think Pride should also be a celebration of our identities,
Oo
di
naman.
ba? As LGBTQIA+ people. Kasi it's, when we celebrate our identities, it's sort of a reversal of the feelings of shame and guilt that are triggered by years of rejection,
Oppression.
exclusion from society because of our SOJI. So, marami siyang facets. So it's a celebration, it's a social movement, and it's also a protest.
Tsaka kaya nga lagi nilang sinasabi, di ba, take pride of who you are, di ba? Kaya we have to celebrate our individuality, our uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Alam mo yan, Pao, di ba? Ikaw naman para sa'yo bilang isang aktor, let's say, at a very active member of the LGBTQIA+ community in the country, what for you is Pride?
Of course, I celebrate my Pride by owning who I am and realizing that people who are LGBTQIA+ or any marginalized community, whenever you take space, you step up for someone who is below you, above you, and the same. So for me, yung pride is taking up spaces and owning it. Right, us being here now, it matters that we're here kasi when people understand na parang, hala, pwede rin pala na ako nandito. So yun yung pride sa akin. So right now, the more projects that we get, the more exposure that we get, that is celebration of pride because we are not afraid of being who we are. And people see us for what we are. Ganyan, looking pretty, looking hot, looking amazing, and looking just as how we want to
However
present.
you want to
yeah,
present
however you
yourself.
want to present yourself.
Because there's no one way.
True. Yeah.
Actually, napakarami nang, di ba, tawag.
Yes.
Di ba? LGBTQIA+++ na po.
Yes, and importante yung plus. For
Napakaraming
sure. Yes.
plus nun. Nakakatuwa kasi, kung titignan natin yung, let's say, 2 decades ago, wala namang LGBTQIA+++, di ba? So ngayon, mas nagkakaroon ng maraming facets, kumbaga, or definition ng pagkatao ng isang individual. Kaya nga nagkaroon tayo ng SOJI, mas na-define yung term na yan, and even the LGBTQIA+ community. Sa tingin nyo, bakit importante yung mga labels na ganito? And how important it is for, other people to understand yung need na i-address tayo properly. Kasi syempre, kahit sabihin nating 4 tayo dito, iba-iba tayo ng
Yes.
SOJI.
Yes,
Iba-iba
for sure.
tayo ng how we identify ourselves. Like for example, uunahan ko na po. I am a transgender woman and I am straight. How about you, Sir Attorney
Wow,
Fauci?
sinasir mo ako common misconception, di ba? And I think Pa would agree with me
Yes.
na pag bakla, so I identify as gay, but they don't think of gay people na parang masculine. So ako, ang gender identity ko is masculine.
Okay.
But I am gay, meaning, so generally, I am male acting according to the standards of our society,
Yes.
and I am attracted to fellow men or guys. May pagka-gender fluid na din tayo kasi we're trying to broaden our horizons, di ba? But for now, generally, that's my SOJI. And I have to clarify immediately, and I think everyone would agree, na even non-LGBT people
Yes.
have SOJI.
Yes,
True.
lahat ng tao may
Babae,
SOJI.
kangaroo.
Yung sinasabi natin kanina na pride, it's not actually just for the LGBT community. Because even straight people, or quote-unquote man
Yes.
or woman, na typical man and typical women, can join pride movements not just as allies, but to celebrate their own color.
Yeah.
The rainbow representing our community and the pride is not just about LGBTQIA, na the different labels that are coming around, but everyone, because everyone's multidimensional. We are mothers, daughters, sons, brothers,
Besties.
sisters. Para lang maintindihan ng ibang tao na hindi LGBT, or even mga confused pa na LGBT, your SOJI does not define you, but it is part of you.
True.
Because we are multidimensional. So yung mga straight na tao dyan, may SOJI din kayo, but
Tama.
we recognize that kayo yung parang naging default
Yes.
for society. Kayo yung naging standard for now, and we're just trying to expand or broaden your minds.
How about you, Tina? Paano naman? How do you identify yourself? Yes.
Ang sexual orientation ko, I'm a lesbian. I'm attracted to women only. My gender identity, I'm a cisgender woman.
Yeah.
So, di ba po pag sinabi natin na cisgender, aligned yung sex at birth ko
Yes.
with how I identify, with my gender identity. And as to my gender expression, mostly androgynous, but it depends on my mood.
Yes.
So, sometimes I wake up feeling feminine, sometimes masculine.
Fluid naman talaga, pati
ang
naman
gender.
sexuality, and yun nga katulad ng
Yes.
sinabi ni Tina, yung gender expression, paiba-iba din yan. But some people like me, parang I never, project myself as masculine because I really see myself as a woman. So that's my gender expression. Ikaw naman, Pao. ano ba?
Hi. Isa po akong alamat. Charing. SOJI, let's talk about SOJI. I'm a homosexual man. Siyempre, nandun na rin tayo sa age ng mga, we are now very conscious about pronouns. So ako, he, him, she, they, her, whatever you call me, it's fine with me. So, but then we should not assume just because they express themselves a certain way. I think it's really nice na parang we talk about it. Okay lang ba na ina-open up ko to? My pronouns are any, he, him, she,
But why is that
they,
important?
her. For me, ako,
Diba? For other
yeah.
people, parang important for them to...
Sa akin, important.
Correct,
Oo.
correct.
Yeah.
She lang ako, tsaka her.
So,
Ayoko na tinatawag
explain
na iba.
bakit it could be parang not important or not as relevant for you and very important for...
Kasi I
Tan.
feel like ang SOJI, ako this is my personal
Yes,
opinion.
your
Pag
ano.
SOJI, while it is not the totality of who you are, if you consider it as one of the facets of your life that you deem important, it is important that you acknowledge and dignify that person with how they identify as. Kung malaki siyang parte ng personality niya. Ako malaking parte sa personality ko na ibinabahagi ko sa inyo na okay lang kahit ano itawag niyo sa akin dahil ako, I can be anything I want to be and I don't want to box myself into a particular kind of way. And I think that there is power in identifying as male. I think there is power in identifying as female. And I think there is power in identifying as everyone. Like, I identify with you, I identify with her, there is power in that. So, I like that when anyone calls me ma'am, she, they, her, kuya, tito,
Bongga.
ninong,
Kahit
yung mga,
ano.
ayan, yung mga ninong, yung mga nanghihingi dyan. Pag nanghihingi, ninong, ninang, ganon. It's really important though that while there is he, sure, she, sure, on the she, sure, ganon. We don't see gender now as a binary. Kasi that's one of the terms na parang are really hot right now, diba? Like binary,
Yeah.
diba? Na parang you see it as one or zeros na.
Male, female.
Oh, male, female,
Man,
period,
woman.
ganon. The gender is expansive.
Ako naman, I
Why
want
are
to
pronouns
answer
important?
for me
Yeah,
because
please.
I think other transgender women will be able to relate with me because I fought hard to be a trans woman. Ang dami kong ginawa. Charot. Ang dami kong pinaglaban.
Pinagdaanan.
Pinagdaanan at pinaglaban para magmukhang babae, mamuhay bilang isang babae. So, dapat gusto ko ma-acknowledge ako ng mga tao sa lipunan bilang isang babae. Kasi, di ba, nagkulot pa ako at nag-makeup ako, tatawagin mo akong sir, o kaya he, o kaya him. Of course, masakit yun sa akin. Katulad nga ng sinabi ko, I'm sure lahat ng mga trans dyan ay pinaglaban para mamuhay sila kung paano nila nakikita yung sarili nila. And we want also to be acknowledged by the society kung paano namin nakikita yung sarili namin. That's why
Correct.
pronouns for me
True.
are very important. Like, let's say, kasi katulad ng sabi ni Paulo, wala naman siya, kebs naman siya kung anong itawag sa kanya, he, she, it, they, or pambabaeng pronouns. It doesn't matter because yun yung preference niya. Pero para sa akin, gusto ko talaga she. Kasi, lakas maka girl. Di ba? Yun ang gusto ko na ma-acknowledge ako as a girl.
And explain din natin hindi lang yan for you, right? I mean, for straight people, no? Yung mga talagang lalaking lalaki or babaeng babae, let's say, no? Yun yung ano nila. Ayaw naman nila ma-misgender din, right? So kung ayaw nila, may bruise kong lalaki, sabihin mo she or her, magagalit yun for sure. So, para lang maintindihan ng mga nakikinig, di ba, na yung wishes mo is personal and the same goes for everyone. So it's
Yes.
just about respecting the personal wishes. Sa'yo, fortunately, mas
Oh,
open
yeah.
ka,
Yeah.
di ba, to any pronoun.
And
So
yeah.
hindi ka misgender or you don't take offense immediately at it. But other people who take it seriously, isipin kasi ng iba, ang babaw lang yan. I'm just, this is
yeah,
the,
hindi,
this is
hindi siya
the
mababaw.
talking point. Mababaw lang yan. It's just a pronoun. What are you fighting for?
Importante nga yun kasi nga I want to be acknowledged.
Ayun.
Yan naman po ang gusto nating mga tao bilang isang individual. Huwag na tayong magpaka-ipokrita. We want to be heard. We want to be seen. And we want to be validated by the people around us. Kaya nga tayo nagpo-post ng mga selfie pag feeling natin maganda tayo, di ba? Because we need other people's validation. At sabihin man natin, no, only myself can validate me. Churut. Hindi yan totoo, di ba? Kaya nga, minsan nagtatanong tayo. After this interview, tatanungin ko yung mga kasama ko, did I do okay? Di ba? Maganda ba yung mga pinagsasabi ko doon? Because we always want to be validated na yung opinion natin sa mundong ito and our entire existence is being seen by other people. Importante po yun because we as, human beings, we are social animals. Diba? Hindi naman tayo yung parang mga pagong na, diba? Yung walk-walk lang doon sa garden o doon sa pond, masaya na sila. We want to be included in the society. That's why there is pride because we want to celebrate who we are and we want other people to see us the way we want ourselves to be seen in the society. Diba? So, tama ka doon, yung mga pronouns, importante
True.
yun. So, paano nga ba natin siya ma-address ng maayos? Isang tip na maibibigay ko as a transgender woman, kung siguro nakadamit ng pambabae, naka-makeup siya, mapapansin natin na, mukha naman siyang girl. Baka gusto niya mong tawagin siyang girl. So, tawagin niyo na siya kung paano siya nakabihis. But hindi rin tayo sure. So, it's always nice to ask, di ba? Let's be respectful. Kung hindi tayo sure, magtanong tayo, di ba? Kung ano bang gusto mong itawag sa'yo. Ma'am, sir, gano'n. So, walang problema. Ako, I would rather be asked than to be misgendered. So, I appreciate people na medyo hindi sila sure kung... Pero never naman ako natatawag ng sir. Hindi na
Of
naman.
course.
Pero, I mean, kung hindi ka sigurado, mas maganda magtanong na lang
Basic
tayo.
courtesy lang naman.
Yes.
Di ba? Kasi kunyari, pusa ka, tas arf ang tawag sa'yo, syempre nakaka-offend nyo kasi pang aso yun. Diba? Sa madaling salita, ganun ang tsikahan. And I think, bigyan naman natin ng respeto ang bawat isa at i-address natin sila kung paano nila gusto galangin or, yun nga, makita nga ng ibang tao. Okay, so aside from pronouns, ano pa ba? Kasi marami pa rin mga taong nagtatanong, ang hirap i-explain pag kunyari mga tito na natin ang mga nagtatanong, mga, you know, yung mga taong hindi
Thunder
masyadong
boomers.
informed. Ano ba yung LGBTQIA plus na yan? So, syempre ako bilang hindi naman din ganun ka-intense yung, let's say, pag-aaral ko or information ko with regards to, you know, different SOJIs. Minsan nagkakamali din ako. So, tayo siguro, ipaintindi rin natin sa mga tao yung differences ng meaning na yan, LGBTQIA plus community. So, pag L, syempre, lesbian. Pag G, gay. Pag B, bisexual. Pag T, trans. Pag Q, queer. Diba? Pag I, intersex. And pag A ay asexual. Marami pa pong mga iba't iba yan. Ano ba yung mga plus pa natin?
Pansexual.
Ang dami.
Gender
Non-conformist.
expansive, non-conforming.
Non-binary, mga kung ano-ano.
Pero usually yung gender expansive yung sa mga bata na parang hindi pa nababox into a certain type of gender and ine-explore pa nila. Gender fluid naman, di ba, yung hindi ka naniniwala sa binary na sistema ng gender. You could be both or you could be none of the gender. So fluid ang gender. It exists within a spectrum. Kaya hindi talaga pwede na binary ang tingin natin na 1 or 0, yes or no, ganon. So, yeah, important siya.
Ang basis kasi ng binary gender, let's attack it head on, di ba, is the biological perception, the biological difference. So of course, nung sinaunang panahon, unfortunately, very basic and rudimentary ang understanding ng human civilization ng complexity ng human being. So when I say very basic, di ba, wala namang mga parang microscope noon and genetics and understanding of social sciences to understand na a person can be more than just a man or a woman. So that's why I'm sure you can relate no, sa mga trans brothers and sisters natin. May tinatawag na assigned sex. Pag yung baby comes out and the doctor raises the baby,
Midwife, doctor,
there is an assigned sex right away of what they see. If there is genital organ for one sex or the other. But we know now na ang basis for SOJI kasi natin, biologically din so baka may mga nag-iisip na, scientifically, it's really only a man and a woman. That's not true anymore because yung concept ng intersex relates to the genes. May mga taong XX, the traditional woman. XY is traditionally man. So that's what makes us a man, the Y chromosome. But there are people with triple X or XXY. So that's one scientific basis, no? Kasi iniisip nila yan. The other is yung ano natin, testosterone, estrogen, androgen, yung receptivity ng katawan natin, may mga not typical male bodies and not typical female bodies because iba yung response ng body to the hormone. So I'm just saying, etong binary na to na sinasabi ni Paulo, that's true that it is antiquated because we have learned from modern science that there is more to a human being than just male or female.
Masyado ng scientific yan. Tsaka, hindi ko na masyadong gets. Parang mga XY.
But remember,
alam mo yung XY, XX chromosome.
Gets na gets
ko
pa yan,
yun.
di ba?
Pero yung mga triple X, XXY, medyo nakakalito na siya, no? So, iba pa yung, syempre, pagiging biological natin doon sa social being. Kaya nga meron tayong, di ba, gender expressions. etc.
And identity.
And identity. So, marami po, just, hindi po matatapos itong
Tama.
podcast na ito.
But we're just giving a biological
Ah.
basis
Tama.
kasi may people talaga who are biologically deterministic. Meaning, sarado na yung utak nila na male or female lang.
Tama.
Ano ba ang basis din natin to say scientifically that there is a spectrum, that it is a rainbow. It is not black or white.
True.
Hindi natin talaga mapipinpoint yan. Tsaka, hindi na po namin kayang i-explain
Yeah.
pa.
It's still an evolving conversation.
Oo,
yeah.
spectrum.
Tanong
Kasi-
nyo na lang yung teacher nyo,
Tsaka,
high school teacher.
feeling ko 10 years from now, baka yung LGBTQIA++ na yan, mas marami pang maging ano yan.
Oo, may P, may
definitions.
Z,
Dot,
ganyan.
dot.
At
May numbers
magkaroon ng
na
maraming labels. And I think it will benefit us as human beings kung mas magkaroon ng mas maraming labels para at least mas makilala natin yung mga sarili natin and yung mga individual with regards to their own sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. Pero eto na, in our quest for equality, members of the LGBTQIA+ community have faced so many concerns of course, in our lives. Specifically, and yung isa sa mga may init na topics na pwede nating pag-usapan when it comes to relationships, di ba? Ikaw, Tina, may karelasyon ka ngayon, di ba?
Meron.
What's the name of your partner and how long have you been together?
Si Rowan. Pwede mag-shout out.
Go! Ba't mo siya?
Hi, Rowan. And 5
Sana
years.
all.
I'm engaged. My fiance is Mr. Luke Wrightson.
Wow, ang ganda ng ring, oh.
Oo.
Sabihin nga po.
We've been together for 10 years and last 2020 we got engaged and we're planning to get married
Isang
by next
dekada,
year
ha?
in England. Di ba? So,
Yun ang sana all.
Mabuhay ka, Pinay.
Sana all din naman.
true. Pero eto na, pag-usapan din natin kasi hindi rin madali ang pakikipagrelasyon if you're, in the community, maraming mga struggles, maraming judgment ang mga tao. Ako, as a public figure, very open naman ako with my relationship status sa madla, alam nila kung sinong fiancé ko. We talk about it all the time. Because I think one of the main reasons kung bakit ko lagi siyang ino-open up, because I want to share our story to a lot of people. Like, I want them to be inspired and maisip nila at ma-realize, lalong-lalo na po doon sa mga kabataan sa LGBTQIA+ community, that beautiful and successful relationships in the community actually exist. Kasi di ba lagi na lang tayong inaano na, puro sad stories about us, pineperahan lang nung partner niya, iniiwan, ginagamit, etc. But hindi lang yon ang nangyayari. Marami rin pong mga masasaya at successful na relationships in the community. Ikaw naman, Tina, mag-share ka naman ng mga mo. Bilang
na tayo sa
lesbian,
exciting
iba rin ang struggles
Ibang-iba.
ng lesbian sa kanilang relationship. Kasi, syempre, mga girls yan, di ba? So, iba rin ang struggles ninyo.
Sobrang dami actually. Ang dami naming natatanggap na anecdotes from lesbian couples, from our organization, na there's bullying and discrimination from our families, communities, schools, even in the workplace. Especially nitong pandemic, no, marami kasing nagsiuwian sa probinsya, bumalik sa mga sa bahay ng pamilya nila.
Correct.
And then para siyang a lot of us were pushed back into our closets. Kasi either hindi tanggap ng family or hindi out sa family. Maraming mga magjowa na hindi pinapayagang magkita, hindi pinapayagang mag-usap.
God.
So there's that reality for us. And also yung bullying na, for example, kami as content creators, hindi mawawala yung mga comments na siguro hindi pa yan nagkaka-boyfriend. Yung iniisip lang nila lagi na face yung pagiging lesbian namin. There's also this exclusion from government services. Meron din kaming natanggap na report from a lesbian couple na hindi sila nakatanggap ng ayuda nitong pandemic kasi ang rationale for that is hindi daw sila family in the eyes of the law because they're a lesbian couple. In terms of accessing private sector services naman, for example, kami nung partner ko, 5 years na kami. And nandun na kami sa point na pinaplano na namin yung future namin together. But it's really difficult to do that when it seems like we don't have a lot of options. For example, no, we can't adopt together. We're thinking about having kids, building a family, but we can't adopt together. And we can't own properties together. Meron na kaming mga businesses or investments. Pero ang hirap, kailangan mo pang hanapan ng loophole na parang pagkukuha kayo ng house or car loans, hindi kinoconsider yung income nyo both.
Beneficiary.
Yeah.
So parang ipapangalan lang sa isa, tapos may internal agreement na lang kayo, ganun. And yung in terms of labor, yung nakukuhang benefits in relation to their marital status, hindi rin namin yun ma-enjoy. So,
GSIS,
yeah,
SSS.
yes, yung mga ganon. So, pag dito sa Pilipinas and same-sex couple, parang may dead end na hanggang dito lang yung pwede, na kahit gaano katagal na kayong magkasama ng partner mo, in the eyes of the law, you're still strangers.
Correct. Friends lang kayo. Oo. Gets na gets ko yan, to be honest with you. But I think, hindi ko naman sinasabing mapalad ako, but we have an option kasi to get married in the UK because my partner is a British national. And in the UK, same-sex civil unions and even marriage, it's recognized. So, pagdating doon, kapag kinasal na kami in England, let's say, talagang siya, binding siya. We have our,
Legal
marriage
protections.
certificate, meron kaming legal protections, nire-recognize ng
importante
state
yan.
yung relationship nyo. Kaya nga kasama po natin si Attorney Jess Falses because advocate po siya ng same-sex marriage and he actually petitioned to the Supreme Court to remove provisions in the 1987 Family Code that defines and limits marriage as between man and woman only.
Of course, sa atin, and of course we know from other countries that that is a very discriminatory provision or a discriminatory law. And fortunately in the Philippines, ang ating 1987 Constitution is like the Constitution of the United States in terms of the basic fundamental rights, which is, this is yung anchor natin, lahat, not just the LGBT, but anyone who's discriminated, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied equal protection of the law. So, doon tayo naghahanap ng refuge or ng safe space to say that this law, the family code that defines and limits marriages only between a man and a woman, is discriminatory and violates the Constitution for an equal protection. Oo. So, unfortunately, in 2018, so nagka-oral arguments and then in 2019, nag-release ng decision ng Supreme Court, they dismiss it on technicality. Because people like me na walang jowa like Tina and like you, sinabi nila, I cannot be the one to raise the question daw. So, hint sa mga nakikinig, di ba? Baka, or sa dalawang dito, may couple or may partner, the people who can challenge it square on or head on are people with a partner. Or in your case, if you get married abroad next year and you come back here, sorry, real talk lang din. While you are fortunate to marry abroad, when you come back here, you still have no rights.
Yes.
And your partner has no rights. Pagbalik mo ng Pilipinas,
Single pa rin ako.
Single ka, and what if, and this happened during the pandemic, may gay couple na yung partner niya namatay. This is March or April 2020, Alpha variant. Height ng pandemic. Wala pa tayong masyadong alam, and ang protocol nun, pag may namatay because of COVID, ike-cremate. Agad ng government. Wala nang mga wakes or funerals, di ba? Gay couple, yung partner niya namatay. Because they're not married or because there's no legal protection at all, wala siyang legal right to the body of his partner. So sa hospital, the hospital denied the partner na you cannot get the body, it has to be the family because legally you're not entitled or you don't have the right to claim that. And the gay partner had to appeal to the government kasi siya din ang kukuha for cremation na let the funeral parlor or the hospital give it to me and let me handle the funeral arrangement. Malayong-malayo pa yun but I'm just saying, in your situation, if there are other legal issues that come around, even if you're married in the UK, when you come here in the Philippines, yung mga ganong legal protection as to custody, support, property, inheritance, wala yun. So, legal tip, syempre, hopefully lahat ng mga legal issues nyo settled in the UK. Pero I'm sure may property ka here.
Yes.
I'm sure meron kang mga relatives here and other issues that may arise which you will need legal protection from our own country. And so hopefully, our community gets to fight for that and achieve that protection.
Pero parang malayo pa kasi 'di ba? Ito nga nandito pa lang tayo sa SOJI Equality Bill, 'di ba? Hindi pa nga naipapasa talaga para maging batas. Paano pa kaya yung same-sex civil unions and marriages? Syempre kapag may pagmamahalan, may kasalan. O speaking of unions, ano ba pagkakaiba for you ng civil union sa marriage? Ikaw, Tina, anong definition mo dito sa mga terms na to?
Actually, may point of confusion din para sa akin. Yung understanding ko now, yung same-sex marriage, it's sanctioned by the church. Kasi marriage has this religious connotation, no? But at the same time, pareho lang kasi yung rights na binibigay sa couples under same-sex marriage and civil union, which is why ang question para sa akin is, why is there a need to differentiate? Bakit kailangan may civil union? Bakit kailangan may same-sex marriage? How do we reconcile, for example, a civil union law with provisions in our family code, no, about marriage? And is the civil union a watered-down version of same-sex marriage to make it more palatable to our homophobic society? So, kaya ang tagal nung usapin tungkol doon, tas yun lagi yung nagbo-bother sa akin kung bakit ba kailangan na dalawa? Parang hindi ba magiging discriminatory in a way kung ihihiwalay mo yung para sa mga members of the LGBTQIA+ community?
Kasi nga, yung marriage, sabi mo nga may religious connotations. Ang simbahan, kahit ano pang simbahan yan or kahit anong relihiyon yan, meron din silang sariling mga rules, di ba? At mga paniniwala, may mga beliefs. So, ang hirap, tama, ang hirap pagsamahin. Kaya siguro nga, gumawa nga ng civil union na term para mas maging palatable siya to the homophobic society. Ikaw naman, Pao, bagets ka pa, pero pinag-iisipan mo kung ikakasal ka in the future. Naiintindihan mo ba yung difference ng civil union at saka ng marriage?
Actually, sobrang ganda. As in, habang nagsasalita ka kanina, parang, oh my God, ito yung thoughts ko being echoed, gano'n, na parang baka nga mas maging palatable lang pag civil union yung ginamit natin, no? Pero ako, when I hear the term civil unions, it still feels like there is a certain type of hanggang dito lang, gano'n, compared to marriage. Kasi when you look
parang
at civil
gold standard kasi pag sinabi mong marriage,
iba-iba
diba?
rin kasi yung provisions ng law per country. Meron iba na parang recognize ito hindi ganun ka recognize, or may mga loopholes na pinapasok yung state apparatuses dun sa kung alin yung pwede niyong gawin. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng countries pare-pareho din ng pag-define sa civil unions at sa marriage. Dito sa Pilipinas, medyo gray area pa rin siya. But I think at its core, parang it allows you to enjoy the same privileges that married couples do, except I feel ito yung pinakamalaking balakid na naririnig ko sa mga na-encounter ko na nasa civil union or marriage, adoption. Adoption siya na parang kapag kunwari civil union ka sa ibang bansa tapos you try to adopt here in the Philippines, bigla kang nang nanonowan kasi same-sex couple. So, yun yung palaging naririnig kong attached dun sa civil union, yung adoption, or parang kung hindi na sila married talaga totally. So, but yeah, I'd like to hear how attorney would define it.
Oo nga. Siyempre, mas may alam ka dyan sa mga legalities na yan. No?
Well, siya ha, una hindi naman din siya legal history lang. So, history muna tayo in general. Denmark ang unang nagpasa ng civil union. No? So, the reason for that is that it is a reaction to the recognition of the LGBT community and their needs, and the need to parang step away for a while from the contentious debate of marriage having religious connotation. Okay. So, alam naman natin na not just in the Philippines, but that's our problem here. No, but around the world, a lot of religions have a strong grasp or hold in their societies, in the legislature, na influence. So, if they try to pass same-sex marriage agad,
oh my gosh,
it wouldn't pass. So, it is like, ang civil union is a first step, is a tactical step to achieving protection for the LGBT community in the short term, and eventually, hopefully, lead to the achievement of same-sex marriage, which that is the experience in Europe. So, a lot of the countries na nagpasa ng civil union, eventually, naging same-sex marriage na, and nawala na yung civil unions for same-sex couples. Not everyone, not all countries, but majority of those who have civil unions, naging same-sex marriage. So, here in the Philippines, i-localize natin sa debate natin, no? Other politicians who have mentioned civil unions, ang civil union talaga seems to be, they want to shy away nga from the debate against religion or with religion, that marriage, okay, sige, since may religious connotation. But technically, and for everyone listening, no, actually, wala namang religious connotation ng marriage by law.
Okay.
By law. When you say religious connotation, it is a connotation because when we hear the marriage, ang nakasanayan ng tao,
kasal.
may kasal din sa simbahan. But we have the terms, anong terms natin? Meron tayong kasal sa simbahan
Huwes.
and kasal sa huwes. So, marriage itself, legally right now, is actually a civil concept.
Okay.
Oo, civil marriage. Walang marriage sa family code that is religious. That's not a religious marriage. Kasi kailangan mo pa din magpakasal sa Roman Catholic Church. I-register mo. Pag magdi-divorce ka or annulment, legally, iba pa yung annulment mo sa under Roman Catholic Church kung Catholic ka. Kung hindi ka naman Catholic, let's say Muslim, iba din yung marriage mo under Sharia law, Muslim law, and yung religion itself, how they approach divorce in Islam. So, ang point ko dito, for us, the community, of course, we want immediate short-term legal protections for LGBT couples because they're very young couples, senior couples. Hindi nyo lang alam, na-mention to kanina ni Karen na ang dami sa Pilipinas na couples, hindi lang natin alam. Diba? Nung mga pride marches noong 2019, before the pandemic, ang daming nag-march na couples na middle age, working adults, or even mga pa-senior na and senior, na ang problema nila now that they're growing old and if they face the eventuality of death, yung naiwan nilang partner, ang daming problema.
Correct.
Kasi wala silang rights. So, civil unions is an immediate short-term tool to protect those people. And then, saka natin din ilaban pa sobra yung marriage. Because tama sila, Pao and si Tina, na marriage versus civil union will treat us as second-class citizen if civil union lang for us and
Tapos sa
marriage
iba
for straight couples. When we know our love is the same, the reasons for why we need marriage are the same, and yung issues na like adoption na mention ni Pao, ayuda na mention ni Tina, will only come from a stronger legal protection like marriage. Not civil union.
Work.
So definitely, we want civil union in the short term, but we will not, and we should not,
Yes, for sure.
settle for it.
Definitely.
Ano bang benefits kapag, let's say, na-legalize ang partnership ng mga members ng LGBTQIA+ community? Because other people might think na, bakit meron din namang mga straight couples na hindi namang kinakasal, di ba? Or meron din namang, kahit naman hindi kayo ikasal,
Live-in.
Oo, live-in kayo or whatever, something like that. Ano bang benefits? Bakit kailangang ma-legalize yung mga partnership ng LGBTQIA+ community?
First, let's take note then, civil unions can actually also benefit straight couples na live-in. Sa ngayon, tama ka, Pao, sa ngayon, if you live for 5 years together, may presumption na under the law, even if you're not married, you are
married
treated
ka
like
nun,
a married couple. Pero very limited pa din yung rights. And that only applies to straight couples. So what I mean here is, if mapasa ang civil union, it's not really just for us. It's also for those who don't want to enter marriage. Hint, hint, walang divorce. Kaya baka may ayaw mga mag-marriage, di ba, na straight couples. Civil union can also benefit them because ang legal rights ng civil union, like marriage first, is to treat two strangers. Ang nasabi kanina ni Tina sa ayuda, gay and lesbian couples nung pandemic were treated like strangers. But they know they are
Nakatira
partners.
sila sa isang bahay, di ba? 10
Correct.
taon na sila together. They share their responsibilities as a couple. Katulad nga nung binanggit kanina ni Tina and ni Paolo, adoption. Isa yan sa pinaka-importanting facet ng relationship. Tapos, ayuda, ibig sabihin yan ay mga benefits na nakukuha natin sa gobyerno. Ayuda lang po ang example namin. Pero isa po yung benepisyo na dapat ibinibigay sa atin ng gobyerno. At kung kayo nga po ay hindi kasal o walang legal binding doon sa inyong relasyon, di wala kayong ayuda.
And
as a
madaming
couple.
mahihirap na LGBT.
Tama.
Tayo, fortunate pa tayo, no?
Oo.
But middle class, gusto din naman ng ayuda, no? So, ayuda is for everyone. Ang civil unions, sabi ni Tina nga, stranger, and balikan natin yung sa US, no? Kasi ako, for me, this is a magical statement sa US nung they legalized same-sex marriage sa Supreme Court, Obergefell versus Hodges, yung decision. So, ang sabi doon ni Justice Kennedy, the magic of marriage is that it transforms strangers into family. So, civil unions and marriage are instruments, legal instruments, to make two unrelated by blood, two people who just met each other, fell in love, strangers who met each other, to be recognized
As a
to form
family.
as a family. That's the magic First magic yun ng civil union. And when you're a family, you can use that against a hospital who might not want to give you custody or allow you in the hospital room. You can use that against the government and say, we deserve ayuda, you cannot discriminate. You can use that against other people, private people like us, to say, why are you quarreling? Kunwari, nag-away lang kayo. Ay, ano lang to, away mag-asawa.
Tama.
That's not your problem.
Yes.
Unless may domestic violence, no? But the point is, when you are a family, there are so many rights you can use against other parties or actors that you cannot without civil union or marriage.
Actually, ganun din sa medicine eh. Kasi, basta mga hindi may alam.
Go!
Nag-aral po tayo ng medisina. Actually, yung rules of proxy sa amin, di ba? Kapag nasa ventilator na, kapag wala ng autonomy yung patient mo, ang first na tao na magde-decide para sa'yo, spouse. It's a river that goes down. It never goes up. So, pag ganito, spouse, anak, ganun. So, importante nga yun eh. Para marami kang proxies kapag namatay. Kapag wala yung spouse mo, ganun, meron kang family. Importante na nagkakaroon ng pamilya tayong mga LGBTQIA+ individuals. Dahil, di ba?
Especially during a pandemic.
Yeah.
Na paano kapag na COVID-19 siya and kailangan i-intubate? Who would make the decision? Sino tatawagan ng doktor? And sino sasama sa loob ng hospital room kung pwede na? Di ba?
So as doctors, protected din tayo dahil kung kunwari progressive tayo and we believe in those kinds of things, hindi tayo madadawat. We don't put our licenses on the line kapag pinapayagan natin na mangyari to na nagiging proxies yung mga spouses ng mga LGBTQIA+
Correct.
individuals.
Because ang nagagalit sa doktor kapag, let's just say walang marriage or civil union yung dalawang partner, usually yung nagagalit, let's say, kung conservative yung parents nung partner, sabihin, wag mong papasukin itong partner ng anak ko. And unfortunately, madaming
Nangyayari
LGBT
yan.
na may ganyang family, walang karapatan yung doktor to go against that. Pwede kang makasuhan. Kasi that's not the parang legally entitled to custody or to visitation rights. So, delikado mga doktor kung wala ding mga ganitong protection.
Correct. Tsaka ang hirap mag-decide, di ba, kung nasa bingitan ng kamatayan, ano bang gagawin?
Oo.
So maganda na nga magkaroon tayo ng ganyang karapatan. And katulad nga ng sinasabi natin, palagi, di ba, kung magbibigay po tayo ng pantay na karapatan sa ibang tao, nothing will be taken away from us. It's not a pie. So might as well, ibigay na lang natin ito.
Oo nga.
Kaya nga pinupush namin at pinaglalaban namin ang mga bagay na ito dahil katulad po ninyo, kami po ay mga Pilipino rin. Kami po ay mga tao din. Di ba? Nagkakaiba-iba lang tayo ng sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression. But at the end of the day, we should share the equal rights. Kung anong na-experience nyo, dapat may experience din namin dahil tao rin po kami. Alright.
And I
Thank you.
Yan.
Wow, beauty queen. Charot. Pero hindi.
Alam mo, pwede kang mag-pageant.
Hindi ko pa na-try. Hindi ko
Diba?
pa na-try. Pero we will see. Young pa naman ako, katulad ng sabi ko. Huwag tayo maglabasan ng edad dahil I'll be very honest. Wow! Takot! Pero yun na nga, lagi nating sinasabi that, you know, the movement is still ongoing. We're still fighting for equal rights. At hanggang ngayon ay marami pa rin sa mga katulad natin, ang members ng LGBTQIA+ community, ang hindi tanggap sa lipunan, nakakaranas pa rin ng diskriminasyon, nakakaranas ng mga bagay na injustices, you know, dahil dun sa kanilang SOJI. So, ang question natin ngayon, how do you hope people would accept and embrace the members ng ating community ngayong 2022 na?
Well, this 2022, nakaka-frustrate in a way. Kasi parang every year, no, pag pinag-uusapan natin ito, sinasabi natin, come on, it's 2020, it's 2021, 2022. Pero parang we're taking one step forward, two steps backward. Kasi kunyari sa atin, sa mga tulad natin na medyo, i-acknowledge naman natin na may privilege tayo.
Totoo
Given
naman.
our socioeconomic status or education, among others, no, and
Visibility.
the visibility and the circles that we belong to, no, mas progressive. But when we say pride is a movement, no, we also fight for our brothers and sisters na nasa laylayan, no, because it's intersectional.
Tama.
The fight should be intersectional. Kaya naman nakakalungkot minsan na akala natin nagpo-progress na tayo, naging mas accepting na yung society, and then may
Wala
news
pala.
bigla na, for example, in 2021, merong mga lesbians sa Mindanao na shiname may public humiliation na ginawa for being lesbians. Meron pa ring mga ganong very antiquated, very backwards na mga penalties sa atin ng lipunan just because of our SOJI. Kaya naman, this 2022, we reiterate, no, and much as possible, mas lagyan na natin ng pangil yung pakikipaglaban natin para sa pantay na karapatan kasi it's long overdue.
Yeah.
It's long overdue. And it is also my hope na I live to see the day na magkaroon yung LGBT couples ng same rights na meron yung heterosexual couples. Kasi lahat naman tayo, tulad nung sinabi mo kanina, lahat tayo Pilipino. Eh, lahat tayo guaranteed these rights by our Constitution. And gusto lang naman natin ng pagkakapantay-pantay sa ilalim ng batas. At syempre sa lipunan din.
Ganon.
Napaka-hopeful in
Galing.
fairness ng statement ni
Ganon.
Tina at sana nga dumating yung pagkakataon na yan. Ako, I'm quite a pessimist when it comes to that na parang iniisip ko, okay, maybe not in our lifetime, but the most important thing is we are moving forward step by step, little by little. Hindi tayo tumitigil dito sa pakikipaglaban na ito. At sana nga, makita na natin yung araw at maranasan natin, di ba, as young people.
Yes, as young people of this generation.
Maranasan natin as young people ang mga ganitong klaseng pagkakapantay-pantay when it comes to our karapatan. Ikaw naman, Pao, ano naman sa tingin mo 2022 na, ano bang mga dapat pang tanggapin? Ano bang mga inaasahan mo at pinagdadasal mo?
Ako talagang, the reason why I am in entertainment, kaya ako kumuha ng project, kaya niyo ako nakilala sa guys sa pelikula, kaya nandito ako sa bago kong film, kaya may mga kinukuha kong projects is because I have something to say about health. Kaya ako dito kaya ang ganda-ganda ko dito, outfitan, ganyan. Kaya todo-todo ako. That's why I stay in the entertainment industry is because I have something to say about health. I hope na eventually I become bigger so that I can empower more people to become more conscious of the disparities in health that LGBTQIA+ individuals face. More prone ang LGBTQIA+ suicide. There are several mental health issues that LGBTQIA+ individuals face. You have gender dysphoria to add to anxiety, depression, ADHD, lahat na. As in, nagsama-sama na lahat. Tapos idadagdag mo pa doon yung struggle ng gender dysphoria, yung public humiliation, at yung hirap ng pagiging LGBTQIA+ individuals sa economic status, pakikipaglaban pa lang sa role sa industriya ko. Ang hirap na...
At hindi lang sa relasyon,
diba?
let me add on that, na kahit sa pagkakaroon ng trabaho.
Tama.
Di ba
Roles?
discriminate pa rin
Roles
ang mga
natin,
members
oo.
ng LGBTQIA+
Kaya,
community
diba?
na ikinakahon lang tayo sa, ay, dito lang, ito lang ang pwede sa'yo kasi bakla ka.
Sa akin, hopeful ako na parang step by step, more people like me take the limelight and know na there are spaces for LGBTQIA+ individuals because there are spaces for all of us. I hope that I change your mind about it not happening in our lifetime. I really do hope that. Because I will not stop, we will not stop. We are doing what we should. Like these programs that highlight us, LGBTQIA+ individuals, or kaya natin kailangan galingan sa mga ganito. So, yun. Doon ko tinatry na talagang ipasok yung situation na parang, oh my God, this is our time. Kasi wala tao tayo kailangan natin na to move forward as a civilization. No one should be left behind.
Correct.
Ganon! Ganon! Ganon!
Sitting here with the three of you, I'm very inspired. Ako, I consider myself medyo matanda na. Pasensya. Kahit sabi mo, kahit ayong matawag na sir, syempre, natatawag na din tayong sir, no? Not just because of being a lawyer. Pero I'm inspired to sit with the three of you because when I was growing up, and a lot of people na LGBT growing up now, they wouldn't know probably na when I was growing up and other LGBTs like me, and like you, I would say, kahit nung panahon yun ng onte, no, didn't have role models or enough role models to be inspired and to be political. Ako kasi, my hope comes from Pride having 75,000 attendees noong 2019, more than the 25,000 noong 2018. Kung walang pandemic noong 2020, 2021, it would probably be bigger. So I'm inspired that more young LGBTs, even the older ones of course who have always been fighting, but more young LGBTs are being more involved, being more political in their own spaces, reclaiming spaces, showing love in BL series, showing how we can do and be professional in industries from a lawyer to hosting. that we can do everything, that nothing defines us, nothing boxes us, and that we are more than just our sexual orientation or gender identity. I'm hoping, unlike you, Karen, no, I have to be frank, I know in my lifetime, because I will
Kung
not...
lifetime mo, syempre kasali ako doon. Kasi mas bata ako eh.
Kaya kasama ka talaga doon. I know in my lifetime, mark my words, that we will achieve the rights, want, and need because we will not rest. I don't think any of you na magpapahinga at hindi mababagabag ang konsensya na ipaglaban ang ating karapatan because we are now more aware, more political, more involved.
Mas matapang at mas may alam.
To demand what we deserve. We deserve nothing less than what others deserve. So, I'm hopeful for a kulay bahaghari na bukas.
Ay, I love it!
Makulay ang bukas.
Kulay bahaghari.
Kulay bahaghari.
Nakakatuwa, no? Kasi at least na-share natin itong ating mga experiences sa mga tao, our hopes and dreams for the whole LGBTQIA+ community. At doon po sa mga kabataan, huwag kayong matakot, sa pagiging sarili ninyo or don't be afraid to be who you are. Take pride of who you are. And of course, take up space in the society because you deserve it. Huwag niyong isipin na dahil bakla ka, hindi mo mararating yung mga pangarap mo sa buhay. Or kung lesbian ka, hindi mo kayang magmahal kung sino ang gusto mong mahalin. Ako, I always answer kapag tinatanong ako, what is success for you? Ngayong marami ka ng followers, etc. Ako, I always say na natutuwa ako whenever young members of the LGBTQIA+ community look up to me kasi gusto kong maging mabuting halimbawa sa kanila. I want to share my story to the younger generation at mapaintindi sa kanila na kung ano yung mga magagandang nangyayari sa akin, that I was able to achieve my hopes and dreams in life, pwede ring mangyari sa kanila. Kasi when I was young, natatakot ako to be who I am. Kasi natatakot akong mahusgahan ng ating lipunan. Natatakot ako na hindi ko mararating ang aking mga pangarap dahil bakla ako. Yun ang gusto kong tanggalin, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga kabataan na you are important, you are valid, you are seen, and you are heard. Kahit ano pa ang SOJI mo. Okay? Thank you very much sa inyo. Ang saya ng ating kwentuhan, di ba? Again, happy
Malalim,
Pride.
pero masaya.
Malalim, tsaka, di ba, ang saya-saya, very light lang. So, thank you very much to our panelists for today, Attorney Jesus Falses, and of course, Tina, kasama din po natin, and Mr. Paulo Pangilinan for joining our Speakeasy and of course, for participating in San Miglite Speakeasy podcast, ang Mahaba-habang Usapan on Civil Unions. This has been brought to you by CNN Philippines in partnership with San Miglite. Muli, ako po ang inyong lingkod, ang babaeng pwede kahit saan, Kalad Karen Davila. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you! Happy Pride!
Happy Pride!